So Jamie, Happy New Year. Did you go climbing? Did you go swimming? Or all the above? Or did you have a great turkey?
I did. I also sat a lot and slept a lot and rested a lot. So I'm looking forward to getting started with those things very soon. But we are here with one of my favorite coffees in our shop, which is the filter blend.
Which is an amazing coffee. It also makes a great espresso, as we're about to discover.
Yeah, we're going to break the rules and do it as an espresso too. But yeah, so this is one of our perennial offerings here at Square Mile, something that you can always find. The components switch, but we're kind of always going for a similar profile. So we've paired it with a couple of bars that I think will suit it even throughout the year.
Yeah, and one of them is a classic bar from the wonderful Zotter family. And then the other is a brand new maker who we've just brought on, sort of a Polish Belarusian couple living in Poland, and it's Ivee Promenade, which is a fantastic bar, which I'm really looking forward to trying, made out of Madagascar beans. So let's kick into the coffee though, as you can sort of tell.
Sounds
the new year
good.
is upon us.
I don't often try this one as espresso because it's the filter blend, right? But I'm really
fantastic.
loving, yeah, I feel like it's really grounded in sweetness, has a little bit of kind of like brown baking spices.
It's really got some depth and some heft to it. I mean, this is definitely...
Yeah, works surprisingly well as espresso.
It's a beautiful espresso. I mean, it's really, really nice. It's definitely got the bite and everything. And I think, should we start with the milk?
Definitely.
I think we're going to start by going to Ivee Promenade, which, you know, definitely, they do some fantastically interesting fermentations for their bars too. So not this one, but some of their chocolates, what they actually do is they ferment inside other liquids. So this is just a classic dark milk made out of Samberano, so Bertil Agerson's beans from Madagascar. Brand new maker, going to be featured in our main boxes too. Again, you crack it. Just what we need for January, a nice warm hug.
Yeah, we tried a few bars from this maker in this last kind of sampling, and I was really impressed.
No, they're very, very good. They make fantastic bars, and it's, you know, true labor of love. Hats off to them. You know, not had an easy time. It's difficult for them to travel. We met them at Chemnitz for a Eurobean, where they came over especially to be with us with their children, with their child rather, and husband Belarusian, and obviously not able to make in Belarus, making in Poland, but delicious, fantastic length, really nice and creamy, with some of those red notes. But
yeah,
basically a nice warm hug.
Yeah, I feel like it really amplifies the length of the espresso as well.
It rounds the espresso, doesn't it? Very nicely.
Great combo.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Should we try the next one?
We are. And this is one of Julia Zotter's. And we're very grateful because this is a São Tome bar. So São Tome was one of the first places in West Africa to start growing cacao back at the turn of the end of the 19th century. It's where Cadbury's got done for using slave labor. So Cadbury's don't love São Tome's history, but we love São Tome now. It has sort of really fascinating notes, sort of almost reminiscent of sort of, say, somewhere like Nicaragua. You get some of the earthy and you get some of the woody, but beautifully made by Zotter. Always, I love the fact you're always going to get 2 bars, which you can sort of say, but beautiful caramelly melt. And then you get that sort of hint of the woodiness of the forest floor coming through. And I think it just does a great job of matching this.
One of the reasons why I'm particularly excited to have a bar from São Tome in this group is that when we were at the craft chocolate fair, I was noticing a lot more São Tome, and not so much because it's São Tome and Príncipe, right?
Yeah.
Is the country, island country off the west coast of Africa. And one of the few that speak Portuguese.
Yeah, it was originally a Portuguese colony.
But yeah, I was noticing more and more bars with beans from São Tome. And so it kind of intrigued me to see this in there.
And there'll be a few coming from Príncipe too now. But there are more and more coming through. I mean, São Tome was really put on the map by a guy called Claudio Corralo, who occasionally we get his bars in about once every 5 to 10 years. It's like pretty hard to get his bars in. They're very different in texture. But he really helped people recognize that São Tome does grow some amazing beans, as does Príncipe. They are not at all like your other beans from West Africa. They don't sort of have that sort of classic coconut dark chocolatiness. They're much, much richer. They're much more licoricey almost. They have this sort of earthy, this woodiness, and they really have got some great length. And just hats off to Juliet and the whole Zotter team for crafting this beautiful bar.
Ah,
Great way to
beautiful.
start the year.
Wow, I did such a good job picking 2 different bars.
You did. You did
They're
brilliant.
really different.
They are amazingly different. Yeah, no,
Nice.
you couldn't really sort of get anything as divergent as these two, except for the fact they're both beautifully made, and they both have, a great wave along with the coffee.
Excellent. Well, let's try it as intended as a filter brew.
Let's go for that.
Sounds good.
So now we're going to try it as intended. This wonderful filter coffee. You've sort of got Red Brick, you've got Sweet Shop, and you've got the filter blend.
Yes.
And they are all just absolute classics.
Yeah, the filter blend is definitely, it's pretty simple. Like, it's the filter answer to the filter. If Red Brick is the classic espresso blend, the filter blend is designed to do that for batch coffee or for filter.
And it's a beautiful filter, but I think it works extremely well as an espresso too. It's a really interesting contrast because
Espresso.
as the espresso, it's very, very concentrated and sort of quite deep and quite solid, whereas this is very light and sort of, nice and fruity and just beautiful.
I think let's try it with let's just mix things up and try it with the Sao Tome bar first.
Let's
So Zotter is the chocolate maker. Labuku is the name of plantation.
No. So Zotter do a lot of different chocolates. Like the last count, probably 1,000 different SKUs. And they have an amazing, they do an awful lot of different chocolates. And they have an amazing chocolate tour. So if any of you are going to Austria on holiday, go down to go and see them. It really is like sort of, the original Willy Wonka's, except much better because it's really great chocolate. And they do hand-scooped bars. So they do an amazing sort of salted caramel. They do a lot of bars which you may have had at Christmas because they're gifted a lot. But they also do basically just plain single estate bars. And those they call Labuco.
I see.
And they are, they were one of the first to really, really work with a lot of different small farms all over the world. So in Uganda, in Tanzania, all over South America, and in Peru, in Ecuador, they have lots of different places. Belize, Maya Mountain as well, they worked with. And this is their combination there. They do one interesting bar, which I think we should have a look at later on, which is they do something called Opus 5, which is a blend of 5 different origins, which they change year in, year out.
Wow.
Which is fascinating. And I don't think I've yet tried the 2026. I think we got the 2025. So we'll get you some of those as a sort of...
Bookmarking that one for later.
Yeah. But...
this combination I am just loving. I think that's like at first blush, when I first tasted this brew of the filter blend, I was really getting a lot of those kind of like baking spice, sort of earthy flavors in a really pleasant way. And I feel like with the Sao Tome bar, with the Zotter bar, it's just like, like a great marriage.
It really is. It brings out what I associate with Sao Tome, which is this sort of forest floor. And I mean this in the nicest and complimentary way. You know how you love the smell of when you're going through a walk in the jungle or the forest? That's what we're sort of getting from this bar, and it's really brought out by the coffee.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see what magic you can work with Ivee Promenade and their delicious milk. So there you go.
All right, let's give it a shot.
It's a 55% milk, 56%. Lovely milk, lots of nice caramel notes.
I can't remember if it was in one of these videos or if it was at another thing that we did together that you were telling me that Madagascar is kind of the only place that has a really known terroir.
Yeah,
for
I mean,
cocoa?
Madagascar is, in the sense that there's a typicity which people try and bring out. And for a long time, it's been thought of as being red fruit. So even though the Europeans, the Bonnats, the Pralus will make quite a buttery bar, it would still be full of red fruit. And then the same is true for the Americans. They might bring out those notes. And normally in chocolate, it's not like wine, it's not like coffee where you're aiming at a certain expression of typicity. But in the case of Madagascar, because for a long time, the person who put Madagascar on the map as a place for craft chocolate makers was Bertil Ackerson, because everyone was using his beans. We associated it with that. There are a few other people now supplying beans out of Madagascar. So you're getting a little bit more diversity. But in general, one of the fun bits, but one of the challenging bits with chocolate is, even if you look at Sao Tome, it is, and there aren't that many estates yet producing cacao for craft chocolate makers there. It is very difficult to talk about typicity because the makers can bring out so much. And the classic here is something like Coco Camile from Tanzania, which just like people can get all sorts of different flavor profiles from. But Madagascar tended to be red fruit. And this is not, not a million miles away from that, even though it's a dark milk.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad I remembered that correctly because that was also something that I was thinking about when we were doing the pairing, is that I wanted something that felt like classic, like foundational, like really essential to the craft chocolate industry. Like that's sort of what I feel like we're trying to do with Filter Blend. And, I don't know, maybe I'm
No, I think you've nailed
stretching
it. No,
here,
no, I
but
think you've
yeah.
nailed it. I think you've absolutely nailed it.
Anyway,
So yeah.
great
So
bars.
roll on 2026.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers. Happy New Year.